Love it.
We talk about the prediction machine. The prediction machine was predicting that somebody in the chat room was going to ask, "Bye, Marco. I miss you already."
The prediction was...
The prediction machine predicted that after we said there was 8 door cars and 9 dragsters, that somebody would ask within 4 minutes in the chat room of how many cars were left.
Oh, okay. The prediction machine was correct.
It's always right. It's always right. Rarely wrong is a prediction machine.
But yeah, what have we figured out so far? Again, we are up to, what was it, 21 perfect reaction times today? 18 of them that were 001 red. We've had 16 dead-on zeros that will all go into the hat for that drawing. And one of those dead-on zeros and one of those trip zips added up to a perfect run for Joel Maddox. It's been fun.
You know, I honestly have never figured out, like, what the big deal in ET bracket racing is, like, with the perfect run. Like, I've never, because isn't the whole object to be perfect on the starting line and run right on your dot? Like, isn't that the whole objective to everything? It's almost like, you know, when you get a hole-in-one, everybody's all impressed. It's like, no, like, the whole point of golf is to get the ball into the hole in as few strokes as possible. Like, you're just doing what you're supposed to do.
True. But how often is it that you actually do what you're supposed to do?
Know, man, I'm telling you, perfect run is, like, so impressive. And I hope everybody fully realizes it's completely tongue-in-cheek.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah, Marco's like, don't talk about perfect runs. So up in Boise at the Night Flyers.
That's right, he was on the wrong side of one.
Marco, if I remember right, was 001 and under by 2 thou, and Don Toya in the other lane was trip, zip, and dead zero being perfect. Yeah. Marco come up in the tower, and I'm like, what, you can't sneak inside of perfect? Like, what's wrong with you?
It's going to be fun to see how the rest of the night plays out. It's going to be fun to see how the rest of the week plays out. And then, of course, it'll certainly be fun to see how next week plays out at Bristol as well. But we are going into round number 6 now, the Autometer round. Those Mickey Thompsons, again, claimed by Sean Serra. So that will be headed out the door. We will be on the ladder next go-round. And racers, just to kind of give you a little heads up, we are going to try to step up the speed here just a little bit. The reason for that is we have the potential, is kind of what we're looking at on the radar. There is a possibility of a little bit of color. There's a color change on the radar map that's kind of headed this way. Doesn't look like it's a lot, but it would be enough that it might disrupt the program. So, racers, just to give you a little heads up, as we start making our way through the remainder of the rounds tonight, the turnaround times are going to be getting a little bit quicker, so we're going to ask for your cooperation. Help us out here. Once we get through round number 6, it's not going to be long before we start calling round number 7, number 8, 9. Basically, we got to get through the rest of this night. So if you are still in competition, we are not basically asking you to come back quick just because we want to wrap things up. We're asking you to come back quick so that we can wrap things up. Because, yeah, as we're looking at it and kind of seeing it head this direction, again, it looks like we have the possibility of getting hit by that little cell. And so we certainly want to make sure that we avoid that and can get out of here tonight after we crown a winner in our $25,000 Wiseco Engineering Thursday. So again, racers, just kind of keep in mind as we're asking to speed things up, it is because we want to go ahead and make sure that we beat that little potential weather pattern that is headed this direction. So that's what we want to do. All right, so it sounds like we are waiting on just one door car. Hopefully is able to make it back. Robert Richardson, of course, we saw that had some issues or looked like had some issues, and now that we're not seeing him back here, probably confirming that there may have been something like that. But we are missing just the one door car, so if you are able to make the call, if you could, we want to make sure that you get here, man. We don't want to run without you. And it sounds like somebody just spotted him on his way to the lane, so that's awesome. That's exactly what we want to hear. So round number 6, I mean, I don't know why I'm acting so surprised about this, because every time we're going to start the next round, it's going to be a couple of big hitters. This time it's Brian Martell and Gary Williams. So again, G-Dub, who is here on the right side of the racetrack, has been through 2 races this weekend, raced in the dragster race and raced in yesterday's 15 grand to win, ended up in the finals both days, and ended up the runner-up both days. Still got a few rounds to go before he can get to another final, but he is sure showing signs that he is not slowing down as Brian Martell. Over on the other side, and oh boy. Unreal. Unreal. Gary Williams, 004 on the tree. Brian Martell puts up the 22nd perfect bulb of the day, and Martell bows out. 587 on a 586. He's 1 above the dial. Gary Williams puts up 7 total to get there first by 0.03 of a second. Perfect and 1 above. Martell not good enough to make it into round number 7. Gary Williams gets out of round number 6 as Larry Chapman and A.J. Ash. A.J. in the Grand Am. Larry Chapman in the Nova. 008 to a 005. Chapman, A.J. Ash, 572 was the dial. He's 008 and dead on 4 to get there first by 18 thousandths of a second. Larry Chapman, 005 and 2 above. Oh, goodness. I'm going to watch that in a minute. All right. Robert Richardson and Kevin Pollard. Pollard on the left side of the racetrack, dialed at 537. Richardson on the right side for the folks at A&N Hauling, dialed in at 591. And Pollard's moving on again. Robert Richardson puts up another 001 red light to add to the tally. He goes 588 on a 591. Kevin Pollard was not what he normally is in the 00 range. But Robert Richardson was 001 red, hands it over to him, and Kevin Pollard gets the win light. Are you serious? Oh. I love the video change. That's awesome. That's awesome. Andy Dolan and Rob Leipzinger. Leipzinger dialed in at 533. Dolan dialed in at 596. Final pair of the... Oh, jeez. The 23rd perfect reaction time of the night goes up on the scoreboard. Trip zip for Andy Dolan. He goes 598 on a 596. Rob Leipzinger was 008 and then goes 532.9 on a 533. 008 breaks out a thou, taking 15 thou at the stripe. Win light goes to Andy Dolan with a perfect bulb. This is just getting nuts. This is getting crazy. And I'm loving it. Here's a bounty round for the 6th attempt. Kyle Cotrera over on the left side. Gary Ingold on the right. Ingold racing out of Raleigh. 474 is the dial. Kyle Cotrera. I don't know if we start calling him the maniac out of Maine, the murderer out of Maine, the madman out of Maine, but he is unstoppable. Unstoppable. Let's see. Wow. So Cotrera with a 457, Ingold with a 474. 4 thou separate him at this end of the racetrack. Does Ingold have a chance? Boom. 005. 458 on a 457. Kyle Cotrera gets to the stripe first by 12 thousandths of a second. Gary Ingold was 009 on the tree. And then ends up 476 on a 474. So Cotrera continuing the streak here as he rolls through. Taylor Holland and Vinny Domino. Vinny on the right side, 461. Taylor Holland on the left side, 467. And again, racers, pretty much if you've already been down the racetrack and have lit up your side of the scoreboard, please, please, please get them back into the pits, get them cooled and fueled as quickly as you can, because we are watching that radar, and we want to make sure that we get this baby in tonight. We want to make sure that we hand out a big check, big trophy, champion jacket. I think there's a box of paydays that go along with it. The Candyman and the guys, instead of bringing the chocolate, they brought paydays, right? We got all kinds of stuff. Identical reaction times with Taylor Holland and Vinny Domino. And Big Vin, 007 at this end of the racetrack, takes 7 thou at that end of the racetrack, ends up dead on 3 for a 10-pack. Taylor Holland was 007 at this end of the racetrack, 1 above at that end, and ends up 7 thou behind with a 17-pack. So Vinny Domino advances as Mikey Bloomfield Jr. and Jamie Holston. Oh, we said there were 9 door cars, or 9 dragsters, 8 door cars. So we're still going to be bringing back 9. 9. 9. Which means that we are going to be looking, an odd number. Somebody is going to get a free ride in round number next. 9 is an odd number, just like 10. Only in Utah. Mikey Bloomfield dialed 453. Jamie Holston dialed 446. And Mikey, Mr. Bloomfield, Moving on, 453 and a 453. He's dead 2, 005 on the tree, 7 total to get the win over Jamie Holston, who was 29 on the tree and had nowhere to go. He was basically just like that speed camera that they hang above like soccer fields and stuff. He was just along for the ride. He's like, I got the camera, I'll hold it for you, because I ain't going to win this one. There's Brandon Lane and Cody Wiggins. Wiggins sticking with a 446. Brandon Lane sticking with a 478. Down to the final pair, and then we'll end it with a solo here in round number 6, the Autometer round. Again, thank you so much to the folks at Autometer for putting up another $500 gift certificate that's going to be going to the best losing package. 13 thousandths of a second between them in reaction time, and the winner's going to be Cody Wiggins. 007, 447 on a 446 gets him there first by 11 thousandths of a second. Brandon Lane was 20 on the tree and 17 thou off the dial with a 479 on a 478. Michael Pascal is going to be the final car in the Autometer round. As he gets to take the solo shot. And as Michael Pascal rolls up here, Loose Change kind of put me on the spot earlier, asked me if a door car is going to win this thing tonight. I said yes. I'll take that. I'm going to ask everybody out there in the chat bleachers, is it a door car or a dragster that's winning this thing tonight? Eames said dragster. So let's see. Pascal, 11 green, dead 3 on his solo shot. Now, I know there's a lot of door car fans in the chat bleachers, but I'm asking you to vote with, like, you know, your logical side, not your heartstrings.
Just because I said dragster a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
I don't feel good about it.
I gotcha.
All right, we're here at the Spring Fling at the Galot Motorsports Park. Taking just a moment, catching up behind the scenes. We're sitting down with Miss Dana Strickland, who is the track manager here at Galot Motorsports Park. Dana, the 4th year in a row that the Spring Fling has found its way down here. And this year, it was a little bit of a challenge, a little bit different, obviously, with the COVID-19 stuff going on. Had to do a whole lot of manipulating, had to do some shucking, some jiving, some rescheduling in order to be able to get the event to pull off. And that's probably been a little bit different for you guys. I know that it's always good to have the Fling here, but how has this year been different?
Well, this year's been different for every event here. We've just started having events two weeks ago. No spectators allowed, so that's a challenge in itself, just to be able to stay open when you're not making money. So, but bracket races generally are not that many spectators anyway, and we always love it when Spring Fling comes. So.
We know the racers certainly love to come here. The event, the facility is spectacular. You guys have a top-notch racetrack. You've got a top-notch tower. Everything's done here to the best of the best. But I know that you guys did have to do a lot of work with the local authorities to make this happen, and we certainly appreciate the work that they did, the fact that they allowed us to come in here and have this event. So our appreciation goes out to them. But your track crew, these guys work so hard. I mean, they are here from sunup to sundown. And you are very blessed to have this group of folks that work under you to make this event happen.
I agree. And the funny thing is I bring in extra people so that I can give them a break to go home, especially when it's hot, like it's been for a couple of days. Today is great, but you go to them and say, well, you know, if you want to go home, you can go home. We have this person here, or I'll go out there and try to give them a break. They don't want to go. They want to stay. We all look forward to the Fling coming here every year, and they love to stay, and they love to watch. There's such great racers here. The whole Spring crew is so nice to us and generous to us, and we appreciate it so much, and they're the same way to anybody that works here. They're just as good to them as they are to me, so everybody just loves being here during the Fling.
Well, Dana, I know all the racers appreciate you guys opening your gates and stuff like that. Now that we're here the 4th year, think back from year number 1 to year number 4. What does it mean to you personally to have the Fling here for these few days?
Well, it's an honor, for one thing, for them to have come the first time and then love being here, so they're coming back every year. And it's just an honor, when people know that the Fling is here, then that they know that it's important. They know that we have a great track, and it's a true honor for the Fling to be here for one and choose to keep coming back.
Well, thank you very much, Dana. We appreciate you sitting down with us. We appreciate you letting us come back each and every year. And I know that we here at the Fling are looking forward to many, many more years right here at Galot Motorsports Park. And thank you to you and your staff from all of us and from all of the racers.
Thank you very much.
The country, it is constantly kind of changing what it's doing. So at this point, what the plan is, I was just talking with Peter Biondo about it, and he said that tomorrow we're going to get up. We're going to see what's happening with the weather. We're going to take a look at where the possible windows are to try and get something done. We've got plenty of time throughout. We've still got, whatever we get in tomorrow. We've got Saturday. We've got Sunday if we need it. And it is one of those things where we do know that does put us a little tight as far as kind of making it to the next racetrack, but we've got time here. We've got the opportunity to get this race in, and especially with tomorrow being that big ATI $100,000 to win day, we want to make sure that we remain focused on first getting this race done here tonight, second, getting that ATI 100 grand race in, and also making sure that we get the Jegs race in as well. We've got the time. So at this point, pretty much the plan for tomorrow is to get up and evaluate, see where we're at. I mean, like you said, Mike, Mother Nature changes her mind quite a bit. So in the overnight hours, I mean, we've watched it change throughout the hours today. In the overnight hours, it may change again. Wind direction may change. The weather could go a different direction, and we may end up being just fine. So we want to make sure that we don't make any kind of premature decisions. We'll get up tomorrow. We'll evaluate where we're at, and then we will go from there.
Well said. I concur.
Well, thank you.
Hey, hot off the press.
Hot off the press.
Hot off the press. Ladder at 9 cars. Andy Dolan with a single. Mike Bloomfield Jr., Michael Pascal.
Cool.
Gary Williams and the blown dragster, Mr. Wiggins. We'll save that one till the end. Oh, no, wait a minute, no. Kyle Coltrera, AJ Ash.
All right.
Big Vinny Domino, Kevin Pollard.
Wow. So basically, we've got Door-Car Dragster, Door-Car Dragster, Door-Car Dragster, Dragster Dragster, and Door-Car.
Single. Yep.
Ooh. Brian Martell. Well, I'm so sorry that we did not quite make it out of that go-round, but you are the best losing package in round number 6, so you've got that $500 Autometer gift certificate. Brian Martell, you were the best losing package. Come on up here to the tower, see the prize princess. We'll get you squared away. We'll get you taken care of. But, man.
Obviously, Brian wanted to continue racing, but
yeah,
I mean, $500 from our friends at Autometer, better than a kick in the shins.
That'll certainly help a little bit. Certainly help a lot of it. So again, it's Domino with lane choice over Pollard, Dragster versus Door-Car. Coltrero with lane choice over Ash, Dragster versus Door-Car. Williams with lane choice over Wiggins, Door Truck versus Dragster. Bloomfield and Pascal. Bloomfield with lane choice in that matchup, and then Andy Dolan.
Hold on, wait a minute.
He can pick whatever lane he
Hold on,
wants.
wait a minute. Prediction machine.
Okay.
Andy Dolan has lane choice.
Your prediction machine is terrible.
Dude, it's awesome. It's never
terrible.
wrong. Never wrong.
Terrible. You know what? I'm guessing the S-bound Dave stands for, what, southbound Dave? That would have been an interesting stat to track, and I don't believe we did. How many of the trip zips lost? There were a handful of them. But we're not done adding up yet. I mean, we're at 23. You said the over-under was 24. We're at 23 right now. Interesting.
I just that's the one thing that I don't like about living in the state of Utah is that there's no casino.
Yeah, but from where you're at, you got the one right
80
there.
minutes.
Yeah.
It's 80 minutes.
You got the one right there at whatever it's called.
Wendover.
Yeah. Bend over what?
Yeah, that too. I really felt good about the 24 number. But I mean, if you think about it, we had 19 yesterday. We had 23 today.
You called that shot.
42 perfect reaction times in 2 days.
That's impressive. That's impressive. And then again, 17 dead on zeros. And especially, I mean, when you're talking about, running them that way. 17 dead on zeros yesterday, 16 today so far.
And then the birthday boy, who was perfect. I think Joel has cake.
I would hope somebody brought Joel a cake. But he did get that nice Regil scoop.
Yes, he did.
That's a nice birthday present. That is a super nice birthday present.
Hello, Kyle Seipel.
So we've got, looking at kind of what the chat bleachers are kicking in. We got AJ Ash fans out there. We got a lot of Kevin Pollard fans out there. We got Coltrera fans calling for the double up. I've seen some folks actually calling out Andy Dolan as the winner here, saying that Gary Williams is, third time's the charm.
Yep, he was runner-up on the American Race Cars Race Tech Dragster Shootout, was runner-up last night.
We'll see. We'll see.
There you go. I mean, the chat room. Kyle Seipel said he just called Vegas, and the door cars are a minus 120 favorite.
There you go.
That skewed the odds.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Dolan with the single is what took it to 120. All right.
I mean, I'll tell you some fun facts about growing up in Vegas, living in Vegas, all of that kind of stuff. When he starts talking about, like, calling the sports books, and for anybody that's, a hardcore sports bettor, you got, especially been doing it for years, everybody's kind of familiar with the Stardust line.
Yes.
Kind of before the days of the internet, before all of that came in, the Stardust was the place that set the line.
Correct. Even before Caesars.
Right.
Yeah.
Even before Caesars. Stardust line was pretty much where it was at. Well, we've got a gentleman that still works at our company. The company that I work for owned the Stardust for many, many years, basically, after they litigated it away from the mob. The guy's name is Bob Scucci. And way, way back in the day, when the Stardust line was the thing, Bob Scucci was starting out in the sportsbook business, and he was the one helping to set that line.
He was the line guy?
He was the guy. So I've had the opportunity over the last 20 years that I've worked at the company to get to know Bob, hang out with him. And he's totally cool dude. And a lot of times we'll be sitting there kind of talking about some of the odds that they've set on games and this, that, and the other, and be like, that's way wrong. That's totally wrong. It's not even going to be anywhere near that. And then I'll ask him and be like, well, what do you think it's going to be? And by the time we get around to game time, it'll end up right about where he told me it would be. I mean, it's like the dude just knows that stuff.
And there's guys that are like that. It's insane.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just the knowledge that they have. And then, of course, one of the other cool things about it is when we did own the Stardust out there, my very first day on the job, very first day I got hired at Boyd, I was this, frontline PC tech. Basically, if somebody's computer broke, I got sent out to go fix it. Well, essentially our, whatever you call it, chief counsel, the lead attorney, I don't know what they call him now, but he was kind of the lead counsel, had an issue with his PC. I go in, sit down behind his desk, start working on the computer. And as I'm sitting there talking to him, he looks at me, he goes, "You're new here." I said, yeah, it's first day, da-da-da-da-da. And he goes, "You know the story behind that desk?" I'm like, "Do I know the story behind that desk?" "No, I don't know the story behind that desk." He goes, "Do you know whose desk that was?" No. And, of course, now I'm, like, totally intrigued.
Sure.
Turns out it was Lefty Rosenthal's
Oh,
desk.
really? No kidding. Wow.
He kept it after they chased the mob
That's
out of the
awesome.
place. After they chased the mob out of the place, he kept the desk as a trophy.
So awesome.
So, yeah, I have sat behind Lefty Rosenthal's desk and lived to tell about it. But that was actually pretty cool. Once again, the ladder. Andy Dolan is going on the bye run. Mikey Bloomfield Jr. with the lane choice over Michael Pascal. Gary Williams with lane choice over Cody Wiggins. Kyle Cotrero with lane choice over A.J. Ash. And Big Vin Domino with lane choice over Kevin Pollard. And again, kind of as we've been asking racers, if you could make your way back this direction as quickly and as rapidly as possible. Well, unfortunately, that nasty little dot on the radar got here before we got done. So we're going to have to go ahead and kind of hold off for a second. So for those of you that are sitting outside, you know exactly what we're talking about. We're going to be on hold here for a moment, and as soon as this gets past us, we'll give it another go, and we'll get after it again. Okay?
Strange Engineering Friday actually began on Friday, albeit after the $50,000 winner was crowned. With an improving forecast, Biondo and Seipel made the decision to allow all of the competitors in the big race to make one-time run before heading into the first round and buybacks on Friday evening. The balance of the event kicked up on Saturday morning, and before too long, the quarterfinals were set. Also run Saturday morning was the Brodex SR20 Shootout. Anthony Bertozzi and Bobby Inslee both registered perfect runs and squared off for the chance to win a pair of SR20 cylinder heads from Brodex.
1.44 seconds head start going to Bertozzi. The tree falls top to bottom in 1.5. So basically a full tree head start to the door car. He'll do the wheelie thing, and the dragster will start chasing. Winner gets SR20s from Brodex, $5,300 value. Bertozzi turns it 1 thou red. Bobby Inslee, 25 and 11 thou under, wins the Brodex SR20s. Congratulations, Bobby Inslee. Bertozzi turns it 1 thou red.
Back to Strange Engineering $100,000 business. In the quarterfinals, the racers remaining were Hunter Patton, Troy Williams, Dan Fletcher, Parker Dodson, and Joey Harrison. Patton held the bye while Dodson was set to square off with Fletcher but couldn't make the call due to a mechanical issue. Fletcher took his extra bye, and Harrison red lit to advance Williams. Williams held the bye while Patton and Fletcher faced off in the semis.
In the dragster, Dan Fletcher in the Chevelle wagon. I love that car. I think it's the coolest car on the planet. But of all of the door cars who are in competition here this weekend, if you really thought about it at the beginning of the day, take away the fact that Dan Fletcher's driving it. Is that the door car that you would have expected to see in the semifinals, especially with a 649 dial in going up against Hunter Patton's 455? And then we factor in the fact that Dan Fletcher's driving it, the answer would be yes. Fletcher has got the pre-stage bulb lit. Hunter Patton over on this side. Who will come back to race for $100,000? Dan Fletcher gets the advantage in reaction time, and coming down to the stripe, Fletcher is going to be back racing for $100,000.
Not all was lost for Patton, as he was awarded the Todd's Extreme Paint MVP award by the Fling staff due to his overall Fling performance. In the final for the $100,000 Strange Engineering payday, it came down to Williams and Fletcher.
The dial in on the right side of the racetrack to Dan Fletcher's 650 dial. Fletcher rolling it forward. Pre-stage bulbs are lit on both sides of the racetrack. Dragster versus door car for the final round of the 2020 Fling. Tree drops, and Dan Fletcher drops it red by 0.003 of a second. And then goes dead. Oh. Troy Williams, 008, gets out of the throttle, goes through to 767. Dan Fletcher dialed 650, runs 650 with an O, but was 003 red at this end of the racetrack.
Thank you, Nate. Here we are with today's Strange Engineering $100,000 champion, Troy Williams. It's been a couple of days to get here. You have just collected another huge payday on another huge scale. Does it ever get old? I know the answer to that, but I mean, how does it feel?
No, man, you never know when the next one's coming, you know. The way racing is nowadays, it's just an accomplishment, let alone, you know, one that pays $100,000.
No doubt, no doubt. You're absolutely right there. You did this, Troy, so many ways. I mean, you did it with the spray. You did it with, you know, making a time shot if you need to. Obviously, just holding a little and driving. You had all the tools in the toolbox, and you used them extremely well. That has to be a little more satisfying when you do something like this, to know that you used every tool available.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, B00, hold it down, go dead on. If you do that, you know, you're still a stationary target for a lot of these guys. And you mix it up, they never know what's coming.
Well, they didn't know. We don't know what's coming either from the announcer booth. I saw some things out there, and I was like, wow. I knew Troy was talented, but that was unbelievable. I mean, great support on this hot rod. You know, FTI is a huge sponsor of the race. You guys come and perform hard for the racers, work hard for them. You get out here and you play hard, and it nets you 5 pounds of chocolate, by the way, and a $100,000 payday. Got to feel amazing on the ride back home to Florida. You could be all smiles.
Yeah, the 5 pounds of chocolate was definitely the deciding factor in the final there. I mean, we were pretty serious before that, but when Gary told me there was chocolate on the line, you know, that's whenever, you know, we really buckled down. But I got to thank Paul Lee, man. He just came on board, bought FTI, you know, this last year, and he wanted to be involved in the bracket program and allowed us to come out here and do it, and he's a big part of it. Greg and Phaedra, you know, that founded FTI, for getting us heading in the right direction, and all of the sponsors, obviously, that help us, VP, FTI, McLeod, Nolodon, the list goes on, man. Mickey Thompson, Steve Smith. Can't do it without all their support, that's for sure.
Well, those people support you because you're a great name in racing, a great ambassador for their companies, and a great ambassador for our sport. I'll finish this with, you woke up today, texted Kyle that you felt just a little bit more serious about what was on the line, and you approached it that way. That's where I want to get my racing program, man. I want to feel different and just come out here and race different. You felt it. You knew you could do it. Congratulations on accomplishing what you knew you had in you.
Thank you, brother. I wish we could all turn it off and on like that. You know, I really was feeling it this morning. That's why whenever I was texting back and forth with Kyle, telling him I was driving Steve's car, I said, I'm a little more serious than normal, but it was just more focused, I guess. But like I said, if we could turn it off and on, we'd all leave it on all the time, you know?
Amazing day at the racetrack, man. Congratulations. Enjoy this. If I see you at Cracker Barrel, I'll slide the bill to your table.
Absolutely, man. I'll be happy to pick it up for you.
Troy Williams, everybody, your Strange Engineering $100,000 champion.
In the end, despite the best efforts of COVID-19 and Mother Nature, the annual K&N Air Filter Spring Fling Galot, presented by Optima Batteries, added another successful chapter into the books. Over 375 racers took part in the event that paid out record-setting prize money and gave away more than $50,000 in manufacturer giveaways. As always, Peter Biondo, Kyle Seipel, and the entire Spring Fling and Galot Motorsports staffs wish to thank every competitor, crew member, family member, and spectator for making this another successful Fling. And we look forward to returning to the Tar Heel State in 2021.
doesn't change just to call you mine. Tonight is all about to let it go. Pick another road. Tonight the bitter essence of our time has made our hearts alone. My mind is taken down. My mind is breaking down. What do I hit the ground? What do I let it out? My demons come at night. My demons hold me tight. How can I take the fight?
Oh, so we have called our cars back to the lanes for round number 7. Had a little weather delay there, but we've got the track dry again. And for those of you that are still sticking around, looks like what Joanna just said, 1,715 folks still sticking around, waiting to find out who ends up winning this $25,000 to win Moser Engineering Thursday here at the Fall Fling at Galot. So for those of you who are sticking around, it's certainly a pleasure. 1,748 now. They're jumping back in. Like, yeah, this race ain't over. We're not giving up on it. The folks in the chat bleachers are all hanging tough. We've got, I think he said 5, missing 4 of the 9 that we need. So we are getting ready to go into round number 7. Got about as even a split as we possibly can between door cars and dragsters. With 9 coming back, dragsters got 5 of them, door cars got 4 of them coming back, and we've pretty much got them paired up, dragster versus door car, on 3 of the pairs, door car on the bye with Andy Dolan. Oh, so you're saying the action on the line is starting to change things down there in Vegas. The door cars are up to minus 130, huh? All right, all right. We called it earlier. A lot of folks out there online. Brittany saying that G-Dub, it'll be 3rd time's the charm tonight is how she sees this playing out. But again, we'll kind of run through that ladder one more time for those that may have missed it. Andy Dolan in the door car coming back on the bye run. Mikey Bloomfield Jr. is going to get Michael Pascal in the pair of dragsters with Bloomfield, who has got lane choice. Gary Williams in the truck against Cody Wiggins in the blower dragster. Williams with lane choice in that pair. Kyle Cotrera, last night's winner, still alive. He's got A.J. Ash in the Grand Am, and then Vinny Domino in the pickup truck has got Vinny Domino in the dragster has got Kevin Pollard in the pickup truck. Oh, goodness. What's up, Youth Rock? Glad to have you in here as well. But I do believe that I think we should have everybody that we need back there by now. If not, we would ask you to please get there as soon as possible. So it sounds like from what we're hearing back there, just about got everybody ready to go back in the staging lanes. And we should be bringing them up here pretty soon to go with round number 7. And again, I will certainly echo what Joanne said. Thank you to Jegs. Thank you to Hoosier. Once again, partnering up to bring the live feed out to the rest of the world, those that could not be here on property. And it is certainly going to be something that we are looking forward to. Boo-boo. Sending me pictures of more food. That actually looks really good right now. Big bowl of cereal. I'm just saying. Big bowl of cereal with ice cold milk. That just looks delicious right now. It does.
Captain Crunch.
Oh.
With like a couple pieces of toast with some strawberry jam on it.
Yeah. That'd work great.
I like where Hershey's head's at.
Like, what's that, Golden Grams?
Maybe a little French Toast Crunch. Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I've had a lot of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. The voice is holding up just fine there, Youth Rock. Certainly looking forward to finding out how the rest of this race plays out.
Gum and water is the secret.
Dude, for a second there, I thought you were still talking about cereal and gum and water. I'm like, how do those two things go together? I have no idea. You know what it might? Joanne, it might, but it's still really good. I don't even know what. Oh, there we go. While we're waiting on the cars. No. I mentioned cereal, and all of a sudden, of course, that's the great thing about the chat bleachers. You mention something, and they immediately start, like, voting on it. So we've already got, like, Captain Crunch, Lucky Charms.
I feel totally bad because I really forgot my favorite cereal. Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Frosted Flakes, toast, little strawberry jam, golden.
Frosted Flakes, they're true. Oh, this is fantastic. Watching this kind of play out from our vantage point in the tower is superb. Fruity Pebbles, Snap, Crackle, and Pop. You know, Snap, Crackle, and Pop used to be what I ate for breakfast in the morning.
Yeah.
Now it's here. Now it's what I hear when I get out of bed.
Yeah. That's true.
All right. We'll see how that's going. What else we got in there? Some votes for Rice Krispies. Waffle Crisp. I remember
Crisp.
Waffle
Yep.
Crisp.
Fruity Pebbles. Fruity Pebbles makes the milk turn a funky color.
Fruit Loops. Got a vote for Fruit Loops from over here in the towers. All right. Count Chocula. There we go.
Because it made the milk all chocolate.
What about Cookie Crisp?
I know. You know what? I never really liked Cookie
Okay,
Crisp.
I'm with you on that. I was just asking. Reese's Puffs. There you go. Wheaties? What's up with... Who called Wheaties?
Wheaties. There's not enough sugar.
Just saying, you don't eat breakfast cereal for Wheaties. All right. The round of 9 is rolling up here, and with the round of 9 rolling up into the water box, Mike Ames is going to take over on the microphone for a little while.
No, not for a little while. Just like a round. And you'll close it out, and then I'll go do inner circle.
All eyes on the burnout in the right-hand lane.
So Gary Williams and Cody Wiggins. Wiggins in the blown dragster. But we're going to watch Gary Williams burn out right here. So Gary Williams, Bradenton, Florida, was our runner-up last night. 589 the dial-in on the GMC Sonoma. Gary was our runner-up in the dragster. On Tuesday was a runner-up here in the GMC last night to Kyle Coltrera. And Cody Wiggins, the Kentucky-based blown dragster, 446 is the dial. Williams, almost a full Christmas tree, going to be the head start. 1.43 seconds. Gary's going to be well out in front. Wiggins, starting line advantage is 008, and Wiggins will advance 447.5 on the 446. Cody was 008. Gary Williams was 22 green, a little bit behind. Got down there and pounded it just a little bit to be 2 above at just 115 miles an hour. Difference in speed at the 8th mile finish line, 42 miles an hour. Wiggins was 157, Gary Williams was $115. It's Kevin Pollard and Vinny Domino. Pollard out of Virginia, one of the best foot breakers in the entire country. 537 is the dial, and Vinny Domino, Big Vin, Staten Island, New York, for Numidia Dragway, Biondo Racing Products. Pollard has been sensational today. And Vinny Domino is always tough. We're going to go from 9 to 5. Pollard, last to stage. Red light start for Kevin Pollard by 41 thousandths of a second. That's big red for Kevin Pollard. Vinny Domino's 42 green, 4603 on the 461. And Pollard, I'm a little stunned. 41 red there for Pollard, and then dead on 6. 537.6 on the 537, but Vinny Domino takes it down to 5. All right, bounty right here. AJ Ash, the Lindsay Racing Products wheels for taking out last night's winner, is up for grabs. AJ, Mississippi, the 89 Grand Am, 572 for AJ. He's had 572 on the car all day. Kyle Coltrera, our winner from yesterday, 455 for the Mickey Thompson Tire VP Fuel Dragster. AJ, first to stage. Coltrera follows. Tree, away, green and green, 006 and 009, and AJ Ash is going to get the Lindsay Racing Products wheels for taking out last night's winner. AJ, 006 green, 572.4 on the 572. That's 10 total. Kyle Coltrera was 009 and 1 above. And 006 is leading the way to get the single at 5 cars as of right now, right, Kyle Seipel? Okay, 006 is leading the way for the single. AJ Ash has not had a single yet today. Michael Pascal and Mike Bloomfield Jr. Pascal has had a single. If Bloomfield wins and is not 006 or better, AJ Ash should have the bye. So Mikey Bloomfield Jr., Fairfield, Ohio. Bloomfield Interiors, 452 there from Mikey. Pascal, Greensboro, North Carolina, 458 the dial, off and away. 2 thou separate him on the starting line. Pascal, left side, is going to be your winner. Dead 0 for Michael Pascal. 10 green on the reaction time. 458.0 on the 458. As that'll add Michael Pascal to the dead on 0 FST carburetor list for today. But AJ Ash, by our calculations, now it's not fully official, we'll make it official, but 98.9% AJ Ash is going to have the single when we get down to 5 cars, and Andy Dolan in the Malibu with the single at 9 cars. $14 green for Andy's going to get a free look at 596. 597.6, 114 to wrap up at 9 cars. So we have the door car of Andy Dolan, the dragster Mike Bloomfield Jr., the dragster Mr. Wiggins, the door car of AJ Ash, and the dragster of Vinny Domino. So 3 dragsters and 2 door cars. With the door car of AJ Ash with the single. Vegas just called. We're back to even money. Door car dragster. So even money for Vegas. There we go. So 5 left.
Jags.
Always wanted to come to Vegas and race, and heard the Spring Fling was nothing but the best races, the best treatment, great facility, so we decided to come out and give it a shot.
I think it's awesome how they're giving away so many things. It gives everybody a chance to win something.
This place is amazing, and Kyle and Peter do a really good job of putting things together.
Greatest event ever, man. These guys put on such a good show, lots of good competition, and pleasure to be here, honored.
All right, Nathan Hershey.
Yes, my games.
Hot off the press.
Sweet.
5 cars. Ladder. Wiggins. Dolan. The Blown Dragster and the Malibu. Vinny Domino. Michael Pascal. AJ Ash with a solo.
There you go.
So dragster, and door car and a single.
There we go. So we'll do it. Hey, racers, just kind of a little heads up here again. There is that, like we saw earlier, we are still keeping an eye on things, and we do want to try and get things wrapped up as quickly as possible because there is still some possible activity headed this way. So if we could get our 5, I know it's a quick turnaround. We understand that it's a kind of tight timeline, but pretty much it's like cool fuel and get back to the lanes for the next few rounds so that we can get through this thing because we've got still a couple of rounds left to go, and we've got 5 cars left in. So if we could get our cars back to the staging lanes as quickly as possible, we would certainly appreciate that. We know that obviously there's big money on the line. We want to make sure that everybody gets the time that they need, but at the same time, we also want to make sure that the race in general gets the time that it needs to get completed tonight. So racers, if you could help us out, we would certainly appreciate that, and we'll get those cars back here as quickly as possible.
Yeah, so this is really interesting when we're looking at the ladder. So 5 cars goes to 3 cars. So somebody's going to have the solo and the semis. Wiggins and Dolan. Dolan just had a single. Domino and Pascal. Pascal's had a single. AJ Ash has a solo. So there could be, I mean, there's multiple scenarios that are going to play when we get down to 3. The Dolan wins, yes. Correct. I mean, there's all sorts of scenarios. Like all 3 cars that have had singles could all win. Then you could, obviously, everybody's had a single. It's going to go back to best reaction time. But then, I mean, there's like 85 different things that could happen with 5 cars left.
There's so many scenarios. The one thing that we do know at this point in time that we do have a winner for our round number 7 best losing package. That set of Goodyear's tires is going to Kyle Cotrera. So Kyle ended up getting beat on the bounty run that time, but he did grab himself a set of Goodyear tires as kind of a consolation prize. So those brand new set of Goodyears going to Kyle Cotrera after round number 7. So Kyle, please make sure you get up here and see the prize princess. She will get you hooked up with that brand new set of Goodyear tires.
Yeah, and once again, just a huge thank you to all the companies that sponsor the round prizes. Stainless Works, Biondo Racing Products, Hoosier Tire, FTI Performance, Mickey Thompson Tire, Autometer, and Goodyear. All those great companies that sponsor the best losing packages in the rounds, and all the companies that are involved with all the Fling events. We just can't do it with all their support. So 5 cars are what we have left. So hopefully they're going to be prompt getting back in the staging lanes. AJ Ash with a solo. Can I just say that? I mean, I feel pretty good about our effort today. I mean, our perfect reaction time, 001 red. We got our whole entire list for the dead zero. I mean,
you have done a fantastic job.
No.
In keeping track of all of this and keeping the rest of us on task in keeping track of all of this, because if one of us wasn't, you were in there right away going, you need to make the mark there.
But we feel good.
No, it's pretty cool.
It's relatively organized. It's when we get done, it's only going to take us a couple minutes before we can bounce. And
there you go.
And
there you go.
And I mean, even your microphone cord is rolled up.
That's something that, yeah, you know where that comes from.
Yes.
You do not leave the announcer booth with an unwound microphone cord.
The penalty is
not acceptable.
Death.
Not acceptable. Right? All right, looks like we got 2 of the 5 that we need, so we need the rest of you, the 3 that are remaining. If we could get you into the staging lanes, please. I want to make sure that we get our next round down the racetrack. That way we can get to our semifinals, quarterfinals. We do need you back to the staging lanes, and we can get through our semifinals and final round. Hand out that big check, hand out the paydays, hand out the big trophy. And once again, just a reminder that the payout window is open down there at the base of the tower. So if you do want to get that taken care of tonight, now would be a great time to do it, because if you wait until later, well then, you know, and by later I mean like later in the week, it gets a little busier down there and it takes a little bit longer. And, well, if you've already got it taken care of up here tonight, that makes it a little bit easier. All right, now we got 4 of the 5. So if you are kind of that last one that we're waiting on, obviously you know who you are. If you could do us a favor, join us up here in the staging lane so that we can get this round taken care of. We'll decide which 3 will advance. And like we were talking about a little while ago, it could be very, very interesting depending on kind of who ends up advancing out of this round, as a few of our cars have already had a bye run. And as we're watching that to see who gets to move forward and who does not, it will kind of certainly play a role as far as how some of the strategy plays out. So, once again, racers, we got 4 of the 5. If we could get the 5th one out there, we'd love to get you guys up here and get it taken care of. And again, we are certainly not trying to rush anybody for the purposes of just making it more difficult. We are trying to make sure that we do get this race finished up tonight, that we're able to hand out the trophies, and that we're ready to go for tomorrow morning. And again, kind of like as we were talking about a little bit earlier, as far as tomorrow is concerned, I mean, we obviously see the same forecast that everybody else sees. I mean, we've all got the weather apps on our phone. We've all got access to the radar. We can all see exactly how the weather patterns are moving. We can all see exactly what it's calling for. And so at this time, given the fact that it has been changing frequently, basically we are going to kind of play a wait and see for the morning as far as how things play out. We know that it is going to change up throughout the night. We're hoping that at some point tomorrow we do get a window of opportunity or 2, or maybe even more. You know, if that stuff that's headed this way decides to speed up and pass through a little bit quicker, if it slows down and we can get things running in the morning quickly, we're certainly looking at whatever our options are, regardless of kind of how it does play out tomorrow. What we are looking at is we've still got Saturday and Sunday, if necessary, to go ahead and finish up the race. So we've still got a lot of opportunities. A lot of options are on the table as far as how we'll get things taken care of for that ATI $100,000 to win race. We've got a lot of opportunity and options as far as how we get in the JEGS $25,000 race. So we've still got, essentially 3 days if needed to get this stuff in and get 2 races. So we have got the option, and that is why at this point in time we're not wanting to jump to conclusions and make any decisions just yet. So racers, we are certainly keeping your best interest in mind. Also wanting to keep in mind that everybody's going to need a chance to get packed up and head to Bristol, just like we are. I mean, pretty much by the time things are done, I'm speaking we because I'm catching a flight on Sunday. Kyle and Peter are going to have to pack up the trailer and drive it up there. They have to do the work. I'm just going to fly in and play in Bristol. But we've certainly got a lot of things that are out there on the table, and that is what we're going to be doing. So, again, racers, we are not making any decisions as of yet. It will be a wait-and-see game-time decision in the morning tomorrow as far as what the weather does overnight, as far as what opportunity it opens up for us tomorrow, and that will be how we will do things. But for tonight, again, we do see a possibility of a little bit more stuff headed this way. We certainly want to get out of here before that gets here, and we want to make sure that we have crowned a champion here on Moser Thursday. Good news is we just heard from the staging lanes that all of the racers are here. They are getting suited up. They will be headed up this direction very soon. And at that point, we'll decide which 3 get to move on. So the racers are back there getting suited up. We'll be on track here in just a moment. So the cars have come to life here in round number 8. All right, so our cars have fired up. We are into round number 8. And Andy Dolan, fresh off the bye run, is matched up with the blower car of Cody Wiggins. If you didn't know which was which, that's Cody. And that's Andy. 597 to a 447. 1.5 second head start is what Andy Dolan is going to get. And as Andy Dolan's headed down the racetrack, he is going to first hear that big old nasty blower car crawling up alongside of him. And crawling's probably the wrong word, but that thing's going to come screaming by. We'll just see how it plays out. Cody Wiggins on the right side, first one, and Andy Dolan over on the left side. He is the first one to stage. Cody Wiggins in, set, ready. Away goes Wiggins, and we stay green. Down to the stripe we go, and Andy Dolan is picking up the win light here. 5 total on the run. Andy Dolan dialed 597, runs 597.5, and puts up the 24th perfect reaction time of the day. And I believe it was Mike Ames that called there would be 24 of them. He puts up number 24. Cody Wiggins was 004 on the tree. Gets to the stripe first by 0.02 of a second and breaks out 1 thou. Andy Dolan wins that one in a nail-biter of a matchup. There's now Michael Pascal and Vinny Domino. So Andy Dolan has advanced. He's already had a bye run. Michael Pascal on the left lane has already had a bye run, and A.J. Ash is getting his bye run in this round. If Vinny Domino lights up the scoreboard, he will be coming back into the round of 3 with the bye to the final. If Michael Pascal wins, then all 3 of them already had a bye, and it goes right back to it. And yeah. AJ, all you got to do is be 000 dead 4 to get it back. Or Pascal does. Vinny Domino goes red by 27 thousandths of a second. Domino fouls out of the game, and Michael Pascal is 003 on the tree, 1 above. So Andy Dolan was 000 dead on 4. Excuse me, dead 5. Andy Dolan was 000 dead 5. A.J. Ash, again, Pascal's had a bye, Dolan's had a bye, Ash is on the bye run right now. If he wants to come back with the bye again, all he has to do, all he's got to do is be 000 dead 4. He's not. He's 006 early. But A.J. Ash has officially advanced, and dude, how about it? 3 cars are coming back, 2 door cars, 1 dragster. A.J. Ash will return. Michael Pascal will return. And Andy Dolan will return.
Jags.
I like to say, I wish I could say everyone had a happy story in the last 3 months, but a lot of people you talk to have been out of work, and some people have been dealing with some illnesses with this whole COVID deal, but we got through it. We're here, and we should really feel blessed. I know Kyle, Emily, and myself have been looking forward to this day for a long, long time, and we opened up the gates. You guys showed up big, as usual. We really do appreciate it. We hope you're excited about racing. Everyone I've been talking to is excited, and we're about to go after it.
Cars are firing up. We're getting ready to pull our first pair into the water box, and it is going to be a lot of fun. And now it's time to do a little racing for real.
Everybody, your Strange Engineering $100,000 champion.
Trophy and all the goodies that go with it to hand out. So high drama. And it's actually not even really high drama. It's just great drag racing. That's all there is to it. Man, I love it when things play out like this. It's just, watching the race go down, watching everything kind of play out in that situation, knowing that all three of the drivers coming back had already had a bye. You got the potential there, and now Andy Dolan gets a second bye run here on the night as he's coming back into the semifinals here on a very fun and wrapping up quickly Moser Engineering Thursday night. It is something to behold. I mean, the quality of drag racer that shows up here at a Fling event is second to none. It's just awesome to watch these races and be part of it, and it's just really cool. I'm certainly looking forward to how things are going to play out here before the night is over. So racers, again, if you could, just kind of as quickly as possible, we'd certainly appreciate it. We want to get the three of you back there and have whatever conversations need to be held, and then we'll get ourselves down the racetrack one more time to decide which two get to come back in the final round. We already know one of them. Just got to decide the other.
always a good race. Well ran. It's not drug out. You know, they put you in the water box, you get down the racetrack.
That's one thing about it is a friendly atmosphere, and they treat the people well. If you got questions, they have their number where you can call them personally.
It just seems like everything they do, I mean, they go the extra step to just make sure everything's covered, basically. I mean, they send text messages out there on that whole new deal that they have going on. It just seems like every step of the way they've thought of it all.
I mean, they do they give all kind of prizes out, and then even on the Fridays, you know, they feed everybody. It's free. So, I mean, as far as all the bracket races I've been to, Spring Fling is best by far. And I would say to anybody that hasn't been to one, you can make it your business to come to one.
One final fling for one epic year. Peter Biondo and Kyle Seipel return to Las Vegas for an unprecedented fourth fling in 2020. The Fall Fling West, presented by Rad Torque Systems, is racers' chance to run for big money at the Strip at Las Vegas Motor Speedway this October. $10,000 to win Friday, $50,000 to win Saturday, and $10,000 to win on Sunday. A $100,000 to win 64-car shootout on Thursday. Gate entries are welcome to both Pro and Super Pro. Pro will run separate until there is one remaining. Race for $10,000, $50,000, and $10,000 for only $690. Text the word Vegas to 74121 for event updates. The Fall Fling West. Fabulous Las Vegas. Race it. Experience it.
So based on kind of watching how things play out, usually as you start to see the golf carts and the scooters headed out from behind the tower, that means that the racers have pretty much probably made their way back behind the grandstands. And they're secluded back there in their secret spot, having their secret conversations. And once they get done having their secret conversations, then Dolan, Pascal, and Ash will all head up this direction. So we are just a couple of minutes away before we run our semifinal round here tonight. And it has certainly been an interesting day so far. Had a couple of stoppages based on some of the stuff that rolled through here, but looks like we should be able to get things wrapped up here tonight in just a next little while. Again, we've still got semifinals, and then we'll be bringing back just two, but it is always kind of cool to see how things roll out here. And again, as you get down later and later, the golf carts that have been kind of hanging out in the pit area make their way up here to watch the final rounds play out. It is one of those good things. But we're going to wrap things up here tonight. We've still got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to get two races in. Sunday, again, if necessary. We are certainly hoping that things change overnight as far as that forecast is concerned for the better. That way we can get out here tomorrow morning and jump into the ATI $100,000 main event. Again, we've got the Jegs 25 grander. They'll get that figured out, but it is a great time. All right. So as the conversations about like breakfast cereal and pizza toppings and all of that kind of stuff continue to rattle and keep the folks in the chat bleachers occupied, it's time to kind of pull away from that for a minute because our three cars have had their conversations that need to be had. And now A.J. Ash and Michael Pascal are going to roll up here, and I'm pretty sure, and Joanne, I'm just kind of looking at the number that's here on YouTube. We are still, where are we at? At a decent amount of folks that are watching along. Still a little over 1,700 from what I see. Out of those 1,700, I'm sure they have been paying attention. All three cars that have made their way into the semifinals had a bye run earlier. AJ actually had the bye run at the round of 5, so it was pretty much down to who had the best reaction time in that last go-round, and Andy Dolan rolled out and went perfect on the tree, so that meant that Andy was the car that would come back with a second bye, and it meant that Michael Pascal and AJ Ash will be the two that would have to battle it out for their opportunity to go into the final round and take on Dolan. Pascal's got a 458 dial on the left side, the only dragster left in competition. AJ Ash, the 89 Grand Am. And we'll see if the conversation that was had a little bit earlier about whether it would be a door car or a dragster that would win this thing tonight will be decided here, or if it will go to the final like it did last night. A.J. Ash off and away. The tree stays green, and identical reaction times between Michael Pascal and A.J. Ash, and it will be a door car that will win it tonight as A.J. Ash picks up the victory. A.J. 13 green and one above. 573 on the 572 gets it done. Michael Pascal was also 13 green and could not hang on. So A.J. Ash will take the Grand Am into the final round to take on Andy Dolan, who rolls up, watches the tree drop, takes the green light, and the Malibu will come back to take on the Grand Am to decide it for $25,000. And I'll tell you what, Moser Engineering is popping on board here for the first time as part of the Fling family, and the Thursday race has not disappointed in any way whatsoever. It was spectacular up to this point, and it will be when A.J. Ash makes his way back here to take on Andy Dolan in the final. A.J. will have lane choice by way of that better reaction time. Andy Dolan pretty much backed it off of the line, pulled it right back over into basically the head of the staging lanes, and he's just going to sit there and wait. So that's where they'll go ahead and get themselves psyched up and ready to go for the final round. AJ is headed back into the pits. He'll get the Grand Am cooled down, get it fueled up, and he'll be back here in a little while. But Michael Pascal, the last dragster standing, bowing out here in the semifinal round. And last night it was a dragster and a door car in the final.
All right, Motor Mania TV fans, like we said, we are kind of going out and about, finding our way through the pits, talking with racers, talking with sponsors, and we found Scooter Fester here with FST Carburetors. Scooter, you guys came on board here about 3 years ago, joining up with the Fling family as a sponsor. You're now a day sponsor of the FST Carburetors $15,000 to win Wednesday, which was a great race yesterday, but wanted to catch up with you a little bit and find out about being here at the Fling, being with the racers, and of course, having these great FST carburetors here for everybody to get a load of. What do you guys think about just the whole experience, the whole vibe, and what is it that got you involved with the Spring Fling?
Well, we're all racers here at FST, and this has been a really good turnout for us. We've had a lot of people come by and see our stuff, and hopefully maybe by the Fall Fling, we'll have more carburetors on cars and racing.
So you talk about putting more carburetors on the cars. What is it that makes the FST carburetor different from everybody else?
Well, we've actually redesigned most of the stuff. We've got a really good engineer, Phil Freeland, that does a pretty good job doing his deal. And we've kind of thought outside the box on the carburetor and trying to make it better than what they currently have now.
So as a day sponsor, you guys came in, kind of started a little bit smaller, had a drawing, had a couple of other things, and then decided to expand your partnership with the Fling a little bit. Tell me what led to that decision?
That was all up with Ken. Ken and Peter talked that out and got that all straightened out, and we're glad to be on board for being a day sponsor.
Well, we're certainly glad to have you here. The racers are glad to have you here, and obviously they need to stop by and check out some of this nice FST carburetor gear that is up here for grabs, and we appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much, Scooter, for taking a little bit of time to talk with us today.
All right, thank you for coming by.
All right, Motor Mania TV, we're here with FST Carburetors, day sponsor here at the Fling, and we're glad to have all of you watching along with us. Because we are thinking and thinking and thinking back. Going back and checking sheets, and should be interesting. What? All right, so pretty much this is kind of, I mean, we've actually been making phone calls because everybody's scratching their head up here trying to figure out
is this the first time that we've had an all-door car final at a fling? And unless somebody can come up and tell us otherwise, you know, we thought back to some of the early Vegas events, called a couple of people, double-checked on a couple of things. But to the best of our knowledge at this point, looking back at where everything was at, we do believe that this is the first all-door car final that we have had at a fling. I mean, that's actually pretty impressive to go this many years. Now going on year number, 11. I'm really trying to think back unless somebody knows differently. I mean, we've talked with Kyle and Peter and going back and looking at things. And, yeah, Johnny D, who's covered all of them. I'm really kind of looking to think, and nobody can think of a situation where we had an all-door car final. Sure. I mean, door cars have certainly won, but we don't know that it's ever been an all-door car final. And at this point, looking for that classification, and with it now being the final, we are looking for our finalists. Back here in the staging lanes, obviously, we've already got Andy Dolan, who's sitting here waiting. That means AJ Ash. We will gladly take you up here to the front of the staging lanes, get you paired up with Andy Dolan, let you guys decide amongst yourselves who gets to go home with the big check. So that's all we're waiting on. $1 grand am. One. In a world previously dominated by dragsters, after 11 years at the fling, the door cars have broken through to take over the final round. AJ Ash, Andy Dolan, starring in the first door car final. Right. Sponsored by, for the first time ever, Moser Engineering coming on board. Brought to you by the folks at Galot Motorsports Park. No, it's not directed by Michael Bay. Directed by the dynamic duo of Peter Biondo and Kyle Seipel. That's right. Emily certainly in the executive producer spot there. She controls the money. They control the race. Between the three of them, it's nothing but beauty. It would be the first blockbuster of the summer. Why? Because no other movies were released. All right, well, AJ's here, Andy's here. Yeah, we do need to come up with that full script, and that's the thing. It cannot do that first thing in the morning, but you get down to this point of the night after I've been talking all day, and we can go ahead and just... 2 cars, 2 men, side by side, 1 big check, and a box of paydays. That was the thing. I did get really stoked. I walked into the tower and I saw like those big boxes of paydays stacked up. Paydays is like one of my favorite candy bars, and I was like, oh, I want one of them. And then I realized that those were going to the winners. So if somebody opens their box of paydays and it happens to be 1 or 2 bars short, I didn't do it. Trust me, I did not do it. So I see Peter Biondo walking away from the cars. I see the crews walking away from the cars. I mean, I wish we had some of that, like, overly dramatic music queued up. And I'm sure that probably in some, like, royalty-free, you know, music bank online or something, we can find it. So that as we start to roll up here for the final, especially at something like this. Now, somebody did call out in a shootout. In a shootout. Not in a main event type race, but in a shootout. They talked about Disco Dean versus Jeff Verde. In a shootout. But was Disco Dean in his car or was he in a dragster? We know Jeff Verde would have been in a car. Yeah. But they are saying that it was, when was it, 5 years ago? Shootout of the Spring Fling, so Disco and Jeff Verde. That was a shootout race, but not a main event.
Yeah. Yep.
But we'll see. So here we go. It is the final round. Andy Dolan on the right side. AJ Ash on the left side. It is the last round. Cool. Cool. Andrew Grayson says he was in the truck, so it was Disco in the Toyota. Again, that was on the shootout side. First time in the main event. The burnouts are complete. Andy Dolan out of Martinsburg, West Virginia, 1980 bodied Malibu, dialed in at 597, and AJ Ash coming in out of Long Beach, Mississippi, 89 bodied Grand Am, dialed in at 573. Winner gets the first ever Moser engineering check from here at the Flings. The tree drops, and it ends on a red light. Andy Dolan was 14 green and cruises down the racetrack as AJ Ash let go 4 thousandths of a second too soon. So with a double 04 red light, AJ Ash bows out here in the final round. Andy Dolan goes on to win it all on a Moser Engineering $25,000 to win Thursday. I'll tell you what, the racing all day long was tight. It was amazingly close. Mike Eames called it 24 as the over-under number for perfect reaction times, and we ended up at exactly 24 perfect reaction times on the day. I think we ended up with another 17 or 18 dead-on zeros. And it came down to 2 door cars in the final between Andy Dolan and AJ Ash. And Andy Dolan is going home with the check, the trophy, the paydays, all of it. He is going home to West Virginia in the trunk of the Malibu. Racers, thank you so much for hanging out with us all day long. It was, again, just certainly entertaining to watch it all play out. For those of us, or for those of you who are playing along with us online, I certainly appreciate you guys being there as well. Thank you again to everybody there at Motor Mania TV. Mark and Joanne, you guys do a spectacular job. Thank you to Jegs. Thank you to Hoosier for continuing their sponsorship to make sure that that is done. Andy Dolan will be headed down this way. We will get the opportunity to talk to him over in the winner's circle before the day is done, before the night is over. He is headed back this direction. That is going to be awesome to be able to hear his thoughts on how this all went down. But again, racers, for tomorrow morning, we are going to play it by ear. We are keeping our fingers crossed. That forecast has been shifting back and forth. We certainly hope it makes a shift. Appreciate you guys out there on the live broadcast. Andy Dolan has already made his way back. He is coming around the corner, going to be pulling in there, getting an opportunity to join the list of winners at a fling. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So Andy Dolan parks the car in front of the champions banner. People are clapping and cheering already, and congratulations, man. Congratulations. Nice job. That's pretty much going to be it for me tonight. Mike Eames is down there in the winner's circle. We'll get a chance to hear from him once Andy gets a couple of photos taken. But for those of us up here in the tower, racers, good night. Have a safe night. We'll be ready to go tomorrow morning. The next thing you are going to hear from is going to be Mike Eames down there in the winner's circle.
Down here in the winner's circle on Moser Engineering Thursday with the big guy from West Virginia, Andy Dolan, closing the deal in the final round over AJ Ash. What's going through your mind right now?
Oh, just happy. About time.
It's about time.
That's right.
So I just want to talk about like the last couple rounds. You get the bye at 9 cars, then you roll in at 5 cars against Mr. Wiggins, and you do something pretty special being 5 total there at 5 cars.
Well, sometimes you got to roll the dice.
Got to roll the dice, and then that led to the single there in the semifinals. You just rolled up, took the green. You were very confident with where your car was at.
Yes, sir. Car's been good all weekend.
So earlier in the week, I know you were talking to Kyle Seipel. Kyle asked you about if you're going to go to Bristol. You told Kyle, well, it depends on how we do here. So on your way back, did you pick up the phone and make room reservations in Bristol?
I ain't made the call yet, but we're looking pretty good.
A lot of people helping you out, big crew helping you. Who do you want to thank?
Yeah, just everybody. I mean, it's hard to name everybody, but, you know, Interstate Racing Fuel, Mike Barber, him and his girlfriend's home watching. They were pulling for me. You know, some of the guys from my home track. But it's a good day.
That's right. It's a good day. Our winner tonight, Andy Dolan on Moser Engineering Thursday, taking home the 25 grand big check. Here's your trophy. Good job, Andy, working it through 10 rounds of racing to get it done tonight.
Jags.
Woohoo! We had a door car win. Yay! And it was going to be a door car either way. Congratulations to Andy Dolan for his win of the Thursday 25K Moser engineering race. Okay, tomorrow, we don't know. We really don't. Right now, it's saying that about 6 a.m., the driplets are going to start. 6 a.m., and then they're not going to stop until late morning on Saturday. But the weather keeps changing, so we don't know. We are scheduled to go live at 8 a.m. tomorrow. I wouldn't necessarily set an alarm. I mean, I would. I have to. But if y'all want to sleep in tomorrow, it's on you. Anyway, thank you to Jegs and Hoosier for keeping Motormania TV free to the viewer. That's so important on this, we want to grow the sport, and if somebody doesn't know what it is, then they're not going to go behind a paywall to find out, okay? So we thank Jegs and Hoosier for keeping the Fall Fling 2020 free to the viewer. Yay. Okay, make sure that you subscribe to Motormania TV and on our YouTube channel. Also, make sure that you ring the bell so that you get notification each time we go live. Let me think. I think that's about it. But, I'm going to go ahead and go through our winners for the last couple of days here. Tuesday was Rob's Towing sponsored Tuesday Test and Tune, and on Tuesday we had the American and Race Tech Dragster Shootout. Now that our finalists were Gary Williams and Chaz Silence, and Gary redlit that. Unfortunately, he redlit at that matchup, but both of the winner and the runner-up. I am so tired, aren't I? The winner and the runner-up, both of them won a dragster, so they both went away winners. Okay, Wednesday, the FST 15K, we had Gary Williams again against Kyle Cotrera, young blood there. And let's see. Gary did not red light. And it looks like he's got it. But the young gun, Kyle Cotrera, pulled it out in the end. And so that's where that ended up. So when they were saying he was a bridesmaid twice, that's what they were talking about. And then here we have AJ Ash and Andy Dolan, both door cars. And AJ, of course, red lit, which was so sad. He was on a roll. We always like everybody to win, don't we? It's like everybody. But Dolan, what a great win. And seeing that big old door car going through round after round, that was pretty spectacular. Okay, and that was just about it. So I'm going to go through our Motor Mania things here. And so get a good night's sleep. I know I will. I had a lousy night's sleep last night. You can tell, huh? So, and we will see you either sometime tomorrow or Saturday, okay? But keep your ear, just kind of check in with us once in a while and see where we're at, okay? And pray that the driplets just go away. Okay, we got a very short time to get up the mountain for the Bristol thing. So, okay. Love ya. See ya. Bye.